Yeah. What's up? What's going on? What's good, everybody? That's right. We are checking in for the the greatest rapper of all time on March 9th. Yeah, that's right. March 9th, 2025 edition of the Boxing Source podcast. Here, I am your host, J.R. Bell, here, the leader of the Boxing Source. We getting we're just catching up from all of what happened in the previous week, and I'm still catching up from last Saturday being over in Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center, and with still more and more boxing coverage left to go here for the Boxing Source. Looking to see if I will be in attendance for the fight card in Orlando, Florida, the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando, Florida, headlined by Ammo Williams versus Patrice Voley. That is a matchroom boxing card there. And you're also going to have Edgar Berlanga on that card, and you'll have Jalil Major Hackett having this rematch against Jose Roman on that card. You're going to have Jermaine Ortiz on that card, Amari Jones with his pro debut. It's going to be a pretty busy card. You know what I mean? So definitely looking forward to that. They're supposedly will see if I celebrate a birthday of sorts there during that weekend, or we'll see what happens with that. But there's a lot that we got to go over here on this particular podcast, man, because, oh, goodness. This past week has been something in the sport of boxing. All right. I'm seeing about, sharing this particular stream, on social media. If you can, share the stream on social media. If you're listening live, if you're listening to the replay here after I post the replay, be sure to share the replay on here. We really appreciate it here on the Boxing Source. We try to get the content for y'all here on this particular channel. We also have, of course, the website, theboxingsource.net, and you can follow us on social media through X, Instagram, and Facebook. But going over what was happening there in the past week, and this has been one of the top stories here, and it's part of the thing there where I had the cover photo. I had to do it. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to do it because I was coming up with the title here for this particular podcast, and I'm like, you know what? I had to bring up that scene from Training Day. She's like, oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I put cases on all you bitch. I had to do it. Because, man, it's looking like Turki Alalshikh has laid down the line for these sanctioning bodies, it looks like, right? Of course, this stems from what happened over in the press conference of Radio City Music Hall in New York City earlier, pretty much a few days ago, headlined by the thing there with, as I say, Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan and William Scull. Now, the bout is scheduled to be on Cinco de Mayo weekend. It's scheduled to be over in Saudi Arabia, and it's slated to be for the undisputed super middleweight titles. Yes, Canelo was the undisputed super middleweight champion, and then the IBF was IBFing, of course, last year, and ended up stripping Canelo Alvarez of that IBF title. And so William Scull fought for it and was able to win by decision in a close bout that some people felt that he lost. But still, I mean, he's still there as the IBF champion. Now, they go ahead, they have the whole press conference, and not gonna lie to y'all, that press conference was bland, man. And listen, I did say something about Strong coming up here next week, or pretty much later this week. But I'm kind of getting up there in age, y'all. And listen, I started to watch that press conference. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna admit it live. I fell asleep. I fell asleep, man. Yo, I'm sorry. That was bland, bro. That was bland. I fell asleep in the press conference. I fell asleep, man. I fell asleep. I'm sorry, I did. Okay, I mean my fault. Listen, I be taking naps and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But come on, y'all. That was just not good. Okay, it wasn't good. So after all of that, I see the thing there. With the whole face off with Canelo Alvarez and William Scull, and Canelo Alvarez having the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO super middleweight titles. You had William Scull, who was an IBF super middleweight champion, and Canelo was about to walk up to step to William Scull, and he was about to go ahead and grab those belts, and you know how the WBC is. The WBC puts himself in front of just about everybody there when it comes to the sanctioning bodies and stuff like that. So when you have like the unified championship bout that takes place, they push for them to the world champion to put on the WBC cert to go ahead and to what is it make sure that their belt is prominent when the champion's on the camera. You know what I mean? So that that is how they do their thing. But Turki Alalshikh was like, Canelo, go ahead and put that belt over to the side, or leave it on the table. Yeah, just leave that belt on the table. Leave the rest of those belts on the table. We got this this undisputed belt right here. And I got this Ring Magazine belt right here. And so I'm just staying right there in the middle, and I'm gonna hold those two belts, and y'all go ahead and look at each other while I'm holding these two belts. All them other belts, you know what? Don't worry about those. They ain't nothing. Don't worry about those. Put them out to the side, right? So with that being said, let's kind of open up a little bit of a little conflict there between Turki Alalshikh and guess the people representing the sanctioning bodies. In particular, as I said, the World Boxing Council. And Turki Alalshikh, not only did that, but also had some comments in reference to a bout that was ordered by the World Boxing Council for their light heavyweight championship. Of course, Dimitri Bivol is now the undisputed light heavyweight champion. You have David Benavidez, who represents as the WBC interim light heavyweight champion. So the WBC has placed an order for that bout to take place for the parties there to enter negotiations. You have Dimitri Bivol, who shall be represented by Matchroom Boxing, and you have David Benavidez, who is represented by Samson Lukowicz of Samson Boxing. And so they had like 30 days up to, April 8th or whatnot. And Turki Alalshikh said, hey, Dimitri, let me holler at you for a second. Hold on. Let me holler at you. Come over here. Let me holler at you. About that order by the WBC. You know what? I ain't quite interested in all that. Okay, I got plans for you. I know you're there under Eddie Hearn and things like that. But you know what? I got plans for you. See, I'm almost going into my Floyd Mayweather phase or something like that. Listen, Dimitri. Listen, my thing is this: I got plans for you, and those plans don't include David Benavidez, whatever it is. All right, so with that being said, right, Turki Alalshikh pretty much like doubled down on going against the World Boxing Council. And so shout out to Giorgio in the building. Shout out to Maurice Jones in the building. Angry Man Sports Media in the building. Y'all check out Angry Man Sports Media on YouTube, man. They're here on the live chat. But yeah, so Turki Alalshikh said, you know what? Don't even worry about that WBC belt. So then we had something with the WBC where they got their champions on social media talking about, hey, I'm standing here proud to be a WBC champion. You had Carlos Adames, you had who else is out there as a champion? Like Oshaki Foster or something like that, man. You had David Benavidez out there talking about he's proud to be a WBC champion. I was like, man, what in the world is going on here? And so you got these WBC champions putting out, that they proud to, wear that green belt is, as I was mentioning earlier, with the WBC, they be WBCing, when it comes to these fights. And so they'll make sure you got a shirt or whatever it is. You know what? Hey, hold on. I'm gonna open up the phone lines here in a minute. I'm gonna make a couple edits, either that or I'll be able to post it up here so that you'll be able to call in in reference to it. So just give me a few minutes. I'll open up the phone lines in reference to this particular topic, right? So you have all of these champions from the WBC talking about, hey, I'm proud to be the WBC champion. You know what I mean? And so this is kind of like started up a little bit of a firestorm between Turki Alalshikh and the WBC initially. Now we have something coming up where Turki Alalshikh may be involved with Dana White. Oh my God. Hey, listen, that should be a pay-per-view right there. Hold up. Shout out to my guy Maurice Jones in the live chat here real quick. He says Turki Alalshikh versus Mauricio Suleiman needs to be made. The TKO Boxing League versus the World Boxing Council. Yeah, make it happen. Hey, y'all want to go ahead and have these pay-per-view events? Hey, why not go ahead and do this? Or better yet, I got something. Nah, don't have that thing over at pay-per-view. Had that joker on Netflix. Yeah, I want to see Turki Alalshikh and Mauricio Suleiman on Netflix. Oh man, yo, we wildin', man. We wildin'. Nah, man. Let me go ahead and post this thing up as far as like the phone lines, man. Because it got this banner thing going on, and I got to edit it so that it does have the number on here, right? So just give me a few minutes here, and I'm going to post the phone number for y'all to call in, and then hopefully, y'all be able to jump on and talk about this particular topic, right? Because this has really opened up the door for a line in the sand there for this whole thing, right? So just give me a minute, and I will put in the number for those live to go ahead and call in, and then I'm gonna see if I could, get this thing properly on here so that people will be able to listen in to the call and stuff like that. Hopefully, I was able to do that. So, all right, we got this thing back here. Like I said, I mean, you got this thing, yeah. But also, I'll put it in the chat there. You know what I mean, and then see if this thing be working, because sometimes the phone lines bugging and stuff like that. But we want to get in as far as like y'all feedback on reference to this particular topic, because I mean, not only has the World Boxing Council been involved in this, but we also had some recent words from the WBO president, the newly appointed WBO president, or recently appointed WBO president, Gustavo Olivieri. He was talking on with Brunch Boxing earlier today, and he had some comments in reference to the thing there with Turki Alalshikh, with the TKO Boxing League and them forming their own league, and kind of like having their own rating system and things like that, and having their own champions. But I mean, that's something there that we're going to also talk about here later on down the line. But hopefully this thing here with the phone lines, kind of like is open and whatnot, so you'll be able to call in and chime in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because really, we would like to hear some folks' reactions to what's going on here in reference to this particular topic. Just start off with, because I think this is basically like a civil war within the sport of boxing. Okay. I know there's been a long time that a number of boxing fans have been requesting for league or just a one boxing organization that has one belt, one ranking system, and that all of the fighters would basically fight for that particular belt. Now we could be a little bit closer to this happening, but given who it is and who he's involved with, now folks are like, hold on, slow your roll, pump your brakes. We gotta, kind of like halt on this joint here. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I would like to, say, hey, my thing has been that there's been some instances where you have these sanctioning bodies and they've really like had a number of issues when it comes to their ranking system or the champions and how they kind of like decide who contends for a world title or who fights for a world title or interim title. And so that kind of like brings up the conversation of, will there be just a unified one league? So now here we are on the brink of that happening. TKO Boxing has pretty much been formed. It's under the banner of Endeavor, if I'm not mistaken, who is affiliated not only with UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship or whatever it is, but also World Wrestling Entertainment, or as it was formerly the World Wrestling Federation, which I wish it never changed from the World Wrestling Federation. Okay. But with that being said, there you have these guys with Turki Alalshikh, Dana White, looking to try to form this league, form a ranking system, form some set rules in reference to this. But is it going to benefit the sport of boxing, or is it going to be a deterrent for the sport of boxing? There was one point that was raised earlier for this particular topic in another conversation, and it involves something there with Dana White. And with Dana White, talking about what he says as far as like fixing the sport of boxing and making sure people see that the best fights and the fights that people want to see, the best fighting the best, and the whole thing with Turki Alalshikh is saying, hey, we're having the best fighting the best in boxing, when it's not necessarily happening so far. We've had what has it been almost 1.5 years or so since Riyadh season has pretty much started up within boxing. Yes, we've had undisputed fights in the heavyweight division and the light heavyweight division, but outside of that, maybe a couple of fights within the top 5 in divisions, but not really what we're quite looking for, right? So far. But it remains to be seen. We've had some interesting matchups. We recently had, what happened there on February 22nd with a number of interesting matchups on that fight card. But even with that, look at what the pay-per-view numbers were in the U.S. when it came to that. It was actually under what I had predicted or why I projected for it. I thought it would be around 60K people there to buy the pay-per-view in the U.S., and it ended up being below that. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we got to see how they're going to be able to further develop at least the thing here first with Riyadh season, and then going over to TKO Boxing. We got my guy over there from Four Corners Boxing in the building here on the live chat, man. Peace to you. Of course, y'all check out Four Corners Boxing as well. They have their weekly show that's on Wednesdays on YouTube as well. So, I've been there, of course, supporting them, and they've been supporting me. They're the ones that kind of like push the whole thing with like Katie Ellis said, that I look like Riddick Bowe. Come on, y'all, Riddick Bowe. All right. But with that being said, right, I'm really interested to see how this turns out, because you have the thing there with the World Boxing Council, of course, Mauricio Sulaiman, the president. You have Gustavo Olivieri, newly appointed president of the World Boxing Organization. You have, Gilberto Mendoza, who's the president of the World Boxing Association, and I'm waiting to hear from him. Not just in reference to this, But of course, with what happened last week, and a couple of things that happened after that fight last week that really has the WBA in a little bit of a pickle. But we'll see. Well, we'll talk about that here a little bit later, right? And I also want to hear from Daryl Peoples there, who heads the International Boxing Federation, because if you're going to have this organization that is, trying to start up this whole thing with starting their own league, developing their own world championship, developing their own ranking system, and attempting to have fighters participate within that boxing league, we'll see how that goes. Four Corners Boxing states American and British promoters better get their shit together, evolve or dissolve. Well, the thing about it, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because even if they try to evolve, you know how the game goes. It's not just about the sport; it's about the business. And in the business, you got to have that money, okay? And if they gotta compete with, an organization that might have the backing of billions and billions of dollars, how are they going to be able to compete? And I'm not even talking about the whole thing with the TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing. What else happened with Top Rank? Okay. Matchroom Boxing. You got Queensberry Promotions, who recently got a TV deal or a network deal with the Zone. You got Golden Boy Promotions, right? All of those companies now are looking at what is going on here with Turki Alalshikh and him potentially forming that league with Dana White, and they're like, wait a minute, we went ahead and we said, you know what? Let's see if we could, have this guy come in and be involved, with the exception of the thing there with TGB Promotions, or as we say, Heyman Boxing, not Premier Boxing Champions. That is a television show, basically, right? They just present these fights. They're not a promotional company, okay? But TGB Promotions or Samson Boxing or a managerial company like Heyman Boxing aren't necessarily, fully involved in that. They've had fighters that are under the advisement of Heyman Boxing that have been involved in a couple of these Riyadh season cards in the past. But as far as like actually having a lot of their major fighters involved, not necessarily. So that's why you see a number of these events that are happening now under Amazon Prime. And we got another one coming up on March 22nd, for example, there with Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker, right? So a number of these promotional organizations and things like that, they're not like fully invested or fully into what's going on with Riyadh season, and they have their own thing. It's just that a couple of their fighters may or may not be involved with Riyadh season in order to make fights happen, right? And over the past year and a half, we've had a couple of these fights where you could have fighters from one promotional body going up against another fighter from another promotional body, because if the money is there, if they're offering the money and they want to see if they can make that fight, cool. They'll offer their fighter in order to participate in that fight, especially if that promotional company is getting a good percentage for that fight to take place. So yeah, they wouldn't have no issues with that. But as far as like having their whole promotional organization be taken over and their fighters being snatched from them, so to speak, yeah, they're kind of like slowing down on that. That's like the whole little controversy that happened many moons ago, it seems, when you had a number of fighters that were quote unquote taken away by Heyman Boxing from Golden Boy Promotions. So this is almost the same thing. What's going on here, or what they're attempting to do there with TKO Boxing. So it remains to be seen how that goes. But I'm like, man, this would be like huge for the sport of boxing if you have a split of sorts, to where a number of fighters could go ahead and break off and maybe join TKO boxing, and that you still have, what happens there with the top ranks. We'll go ahead and say it, for the ease of people. PBC, right? Matchroom, Queensbury, we could have that. So looks like we have as I say, a civil war that may be starting here within the sport of boxing. Now, will it generate more interest in the sport? That remains to be seen, because hey, we've gone through this every single year. Oh my God. Oh, boxing is dying. Oh, this is that. Oh, I can't believe the sport of boxing. Oh, it's dead. It ain't happening no more. There's no big fights or what. Like, come on. We've had this happen since 2017 or something, and still we're able to have big events happen. 2013. Oh, excuse me. Well, actually, 2013 was a really good year for boxing, but I meant to say 2023 was one of the best years in the sport. And we had a number of great fights that took place, or a number of great matchups that took place, and a number of great events that took place in 2023. And Turki Alalshikh wasn't involved in any of those. So if we could have those type of events happen in 2023, if we could have, events like Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter before Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., and multiple other fights, big fights that took place before Turki Alalshikh, I don't see why it can't happen again, And rumor has it there might be a little bit of a collaboration that might be in the works here within the sport of boxing with two major boxing organizations. You know what I mean? So that remains to be seen if that's going to happen. But I'm like this. Hey, being able to cover the sport for as long as I have, this might be one of the biggest stories within the sport of boxing that has happened in my time. Oh man, see, this is the thing, man. This thing be tripping, all right? Because we've had, what is it? Trying to see if there was a couple of things coming through as far as like the phone lines, but I don't know if it's still working or not. But like I said, I mean, the numbers are available if you wanted to chime in or whatnot. There, 571-449-7217. To have your take on what this whole thing here with Turki Alalshikh and Dana White being involved, right, with the sport of boxing, and how people have reacted to it. As I mentioned before, you had the WBO president, Gustavo Olivieri, make a little bit of comments on it in his conversation with Brunch Boxing earlier today. You can check out Brunch Boxing. That is through X. They should have that conversation available for y'all to listen there. And he had some comments in reference to that, while also, updating people on the status of WBO world champions there for, particular divisions, right? But like I said, I want to hear from Daryl Peoples, and I want to hear from the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza. Like, I was able to see and chop it up with him last week, or the fight week there for Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. But I wanted to follow up with him in reference to this. And actually, you know what? Just real quick, I wanted to see if I could briefly convert over to that conversation when it came to that bout with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. But before I carry on their reference to that particular conversation, I have one of my great panelists here that's able to join us here for this particular episode of the Boxing Source podcast. Of course, one of our great guests here, one of our esteemed guests here on the Boxing Source. That's right, it's our guy here, the Boxing Academic is in the building. What's going on, Academic?
Hey, what's going on, JR? What's going on, JR? My fault. I was a little late, man. I had a tree fall in my yard, man. It's been down there for about a week.
Oh, yeah, man. You probably had to, get the chainsaw out. You had to cut up, you know what I'm saying? Get some firewood thing going, cut up the thing and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're right. And so So with that being said, I now want to be referred to BKA Young Tom Sawyer. No. You know what? I don't like that. I don't like that. BKA Young Paul Bunyan. That's what I would like to be referred to from now
Okay.
on. Young
Gotcha.
Paul Bunyan.
The Boss Academic BKA Paul Bunyan. Aye.
Man, it's
Yo.
still the tree so damn big, man. I still got more to cut, but the lights went off. So I
Oh
figured that
man.
was a sign from God to tell me, hey, if you want to see a snake, you probably want to see it in the light, not in the dark.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So yeah, you're just coming on here with the, with my conversation. I was talking about the whole thing with Turki Alalshikh. First of all, with his little war with the World Boxing Council, telling Canelo, hey, Canelo, yeah, about that WBC belt you got over there. Yeah, go ahead and leave it over on that table. We could go ahead and have this face off, and I hold this undisputed belt. I pretty much had a part in creating, and we'll have this Ring Magazine belt because I pretty much bought the Ring Magazine, so we got to have that belt here too. So he had that going on, and then after that, the WBC was saying, hey, the light heavyweight title that Dmitry Bivol has now, since he defeated Artur Beterbiev, he has to go into negotiations with the interim WBC champion David Benavidez, and they have until, as I think, April 8th, there for them to come to an agreement. And if they do not, then the fight will be sent to purse bid. And well, Turki Alalshikh had comments on that too. And he said, hey, the ball. Yeah, about defending that, those undisputed titles there with David Benavidez and Benavidez being the WBC interim champ. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna necessarily be part of that. But I got something for you. I got some plans for you. So you could see if you want to venture into that, or you could stick with me, Turkey, and yeah, we might have a good fight here set up for you, which could still be the third bout between him and Artur Beterbiev. But for Turki Alalshikh to vocally say that is something there. And then of course the WBC had their response and had a number of their world champions post that, hey, I'm with the WBC, I'm around with the WBC, I got this green belt, I'm proud to be WBC champion. So look like that has started up a little bit of a conflict of sorts within the sport of boxing. What you got on that?
So one question before I give my thoughts. Were the people who were riding for the WBC, were they also under Turkey's sort of monetary umbrella?
Not all of them. No, not all
Was
of them.
some of them?
Yeah, some of them potentially, some of them have been involved in, events that have Turki Alalshikh's hands on them. So that is, one thing that kind of like makes this a little bit more interesting.
So do you think that Turkey has learned that while it is a great idea to make fights, it's in his best interest, monetary best interest, to make fights where his fighters keep the belt? Do you think that is what he's learning, or what he has learned out of all of this?
Well, it looks like what he has learned is that he wants to go ahead and form and be part of his own league with his own belt, with his own ranking system, and everything like that. That's why he's being involved there in the sorts with TKO boxing that's being formed there. So I think that's one thing that I would say is potentially a real interesting situation there within the sport of boxing, particularly if he goes and pushes forward with that TKO boxing league there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned a lot of things, but so you essentially think that he's trying to flex his muscle and let everybody know, like I'm bigger than these sanctioning bodies,
Yeah, yeah.
and it ain't about him wanting to keep the belt because he said to somebody that they can set the belt down, or they can. Uh, you said the WBC and the ring belt.
Well, no, the WBC is, basically, of course, their entity, right? And with the World Boxing Council. With Turki Alalshikh, he has, currently, of course, purchased the thing there with Ring Magazine. So he has that Ring Magazine belt, which a lot of people kind of like view as the lineal championship across the board. But then also, having something where he forms a new league and involves that, like you said, with that undisputed title that he has. And now with the TKO Boxing League, which involves Dana White and Nick Khan there, where it's basically a UFC and World Wrestling Entertainment there that is trying to create a league that, at least for me, almost seems similar to a UFC and a WWE, where it's just that particular organization and fighters would be under that organization and fight for that particular belt. And it's separate than the World Boxing Council, the International Boxing Federation, the World Boxing Association, and the World Boxing Organization. Shout out to Z Patino in the live chat. He says Turkey would rather have Bevel relinquish the WBC title and keep his options open, like Usyk did the IBF title, so he could get the Fury rematch. You got something there. Real quick, wanted to add in another great guest, another great panelist here on the Boxing Source podcast. Of course, he is the host of Brunch Boxing, and like I was mentioning earlier, had a conversation with the WBO president Gustavo Olivieri there on X, and that is my guy Matt from Boxing. What's going on, Matt?
Hey. What's going on, JBZ? And I want to say a special shout out to one of the brightest minds in all of boxing, the boxing academic. How are you doing, my brother Mike?
Doing great, sir. Doing great. So I just wanted to add one amendment. Since I was just in my backyard cutting down trees, my new name is now BKA Young Paul Bunyan. Just so you know.
That is fucking funny. Yo, you are the man, boxing academic, aka Paul Bunyan. Whatever you want to
You
be
know what?
called, my
You know what?
brother.
You know what?
That's
Don't call me that.
what
It,
you're gonna be
it
called.
sounded weird. Don't call me that. It sounded weird.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah. Never
hey.
mind. Let's keep it at
Okay.
boxing academic.
All
It
right.
sounded weird. I'm sorry. That's my fault. My fault.
Hey, listen, you see that, JB? You try to use a man's pronouns, and he don't want to use his pronouns all the
Nah,
time,
I
man.
don't. No more pronouns. No more die. I can't use none of that. I don't want to get struck down by the U.S. Constitution.
Oh man, well, yo, what's going on, Batman? Yeah, I was mentioning your conversation there with Gustavo Olivieri there from the World Boxing Organization. He was able to answer a number of questions there from your interview as he was, preparing to go over to Japan for that world title defense that's going to be happening over there. So, like briefly, what did you take from his response to about Turki Alalshikh being part of forming that TKO Boxing League?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you what I took from it is that, hey, we see you, Turkey. That's what he's saying, basically. We see you. Don't think we ain't paying attention to what you're doing. Now, everybody's gonna play nice. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
gonna play nice, okay? But
Mm-hmm.
if you step out of line and you think that you're just gonna get rid of us, you are sadly mistaken. That's what I took from it,
What does
and
we
I'm
see you
here
mean?
for it. The WBO. Like they listen, everybody knows what Turkey's trying to do. Turkey's trying to get rid of all the sanctioned bodies so he can control everything. And they're not stupid. They see that. But they're like, listen, you think you're gonna be able to do it? You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. Okay? That's basically what's happening.
How
Yeah.
sustainable is a boxing league though? A XFL-ish new boxing league. How is that? How sustainable is that?
Well, personally, I don't think it's sustainable at all. Like, I mean, if we want to get to it, I don't think it's
Mhm.
sustainable at all because why would all the promoters willingly give up their biggest stars to Turkey's league?
Right. That's the beginning of it. Like a number of these fighters are under contract with these boxing promotional organizations. So I mean, unless you would have something where the TKO Boxing League will say, "Hey, we will pay you such and such amount of money for you to release a contract of said fighter for them to join the TKO Boxing League."
But isn't that just like the other one? I'm sorry, JR, you weren't done.
No, go ahead.
Isn't that just like the other league who stopped being able to pay people because they was giving them exorbitant purses, so they couldn't at some point they couldn't pay people. The one that Agent Bronin was on, I forgot the name of that.
Oh, you talking about BLK Prime?
Was it? Maybe it wasn't BLK, but it's another one that Jake Paul fought on.
What,
Slam.
Oh, you talking about
Triller. When they were paying them exorbitant purses, that was not sustainable because there's only so much money can go around when you give somebody this, these luxury taxes, fees, or whatever. Luxury purses.
Well, yeah, it could only last so long, but like I was mentioning before, a number of these fighters that, people could think about, that may be top fighters in the sport right now, they're under contract with multiple promotional companies. So unless if Turki Alalshikh has some fighters that are under, or not, like a free agent or not necessarily tied down to a promotional body right now, then I'm not sure like what else he could do at this point. Now, what he might try to do is not go after a number of fighters under contract with these large organizations, as I mentioned before, with TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing, Top Rank, Matchroom, or Queensbury. But he might go after the mid-level and below promotional organizations and say, "Hey, I know you have this fighter, but I could provide this amount of money, for us to have the promotional rights to that fighter." And maybe they go ahead and agree with it. So they might be able to start off that way and then see if they can build from that. But as far as like the larger promotional organizations, they're not going to go for it. At least I don't feel like they're going to go for it. You know what I mean? Let me see. Like that was off and on. You back, Matt?
Oh yeah. I had to go outside. So
Yeah.
I'm back though. I'm back. Can you
Man.
hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm seeing if as I was mentioning in earlier conversation this weekend.
No, I heard everything you said. I heard everything you said.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I think you're right. They're gonna go after the mid-level to lower-level guys. They're gonna basically try to do what Vince McMahon did in the 1980s when he decided to expand. They're gonna try to buy out all the territories. Okay, and by buy out all the territories, I'm talking about the Dimitri Salinas, the Jeter Promotions, the Pro Box. They're gonna try to get all the talent on that level, like you said, and then once these stars start fading away, they're going to try to convince the boxing public that these are the best guys in the sport of boxing, is basically what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to really do what the UFC does, where you have the illusion that it's the best fighting the best, but it's not actually the best fighting the best. It's the best person that's willing to take the peanuts that we offer versus the next best person that's willing to take the peanuts that we offer.
And yeah, shout out to Dre in the building here. Just Boxing Talk. Yeah, like we were saying, man, TKO League, the fighters will have to leave their current promotional company to join the league. And with the lure of huge money, it may get some fighters. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, unless maybe it's fighters that could be part of a major promotional company that don't necessarily have like a very active schedule, or they're pretty much like back end of their contract, promotional contract. Yeah, maybe that could work. But other than that, yeah, I'm not sure how they'll be able to pull off something as far as like putting up big events.
What Turkey is gonna find out, and Dana White is gonna find out, is that there's only a handful of guys that keep the lights on at a promotion. They subsidize these promotions. Okay, so you have the Tank Davises, the Anthony Joshuas, Canelo Alvarez, guys like that that are going to draw a lot of money, and their events are going to make a profit. So you could start stacking up their cards with 8, 10 fights of guys and stuff like that to pay these guys, give them dates and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Unless they're going to get a, a decent sized star, right?
Mhm.
On some of these cards, then they're going to be losing money hand over fist, you know, because you're gonna have to overpay first of all to get these guys. Because
Mhm.
why would they leave their current situation? You're gonna have to overpay to get these guys, or you're gonna just get disgruntled guys. But how many of these guys can sell tickets? That's the question. How many of them can sell tickets? Not that many. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of big ticket sellers in boxing that you turn a profit on
Mhm.
their shows.
Can
Right.
Okay.
Adrian Broner still sell tickets?
Maybe if you put him in Ohio, but Adrian Broner's with Don King. You
Yep.
think Don King? Listen, Don King is one of the most litigious motherfuckers in the history of boxing. You think they just going to poach a Don King fighter?
No.
No,
Because
no.
as of right now, speaking of said fighter, there'll be let me see. Well, not said fighter, but said promoter. There will be something coming up in a rumor mill that will involve said promoter. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Well, all right. Let me ask you a question. Is he still alive?
According to this source, yes, he is still
Okay.
alive.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me rest off the rumor. Okay. I got to make sure.
Oh man.
He is like
Oh
100 years
man.
old now.
So why wouldn't Turkey just essentially do what he's doing now, which is keep them under the same sort of umbrella that they under, but then he essentially pay the promoter to where they just sort of under him.
Because if you're a promoter, Turkey has shown his hand too soon. He's not a trustworthy guy. Look at what he's trying to do, turning on the sanctioned bodies. Look at what he's trying to do, basically turning on Eddie Hearn and guys like that. It was like 1 or 2 months ago, he called PBC one of his partners, and now you're telling PBC that you don't want a David Benavidez fight against Dimitri
Dimitri
Bivol.
Bivol.
So what are we really talking about here, Mike? Let me know.
Yeah, I mean that does seem untrustworthy from their perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't trusted. I can trust with that nigga.
What,
Oh,
so you're saying that Turkey Alalshikh is the Jake Roberts of boxing?
yeah. He's a snake. You can't trust him. You can't trust him. Like, and the thing about Turki Alalshikh that people don't understand is that this has always been who he is. None of this is surprising to anyone that is familiar with him. So my thing is this, right? He he fucked up because he thinks that he's in such a big position of power that now he could act the fool and act out. But I'm telling you right now, he showed his hand too early. He showed his hand too early, and
Yeah.
and that's what happens when people. I judge people based upon how they treat people that they don't need anything from anymore. And he thought that he was in that position where he don't need nothing from somebody no more. So to me, he started showing his ass. He started showing his ass. He's like, "Hey, we got Canelo now. Fuck y'all," But
Yeah.
it don't work like that in boxing. It does not work like that in boxing because even though you have Canelo, once upon a time Eddie Hearn had Canelo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that work out for him? He according to him, he lost money on every Canelo fight. That's what he said. Those are not my words. Those are his words. He said that. So just because you have a guide doesn't mean you know what the fuck you're doing with him. Okay? And he has not shown that he knows what the fuck he's doing when it comes to putting on big shows and
Yep.
actually making money off of it. He
Uh-huh.
hasn't shown that.
Yeah,
He
yes,
hasn't
so
shown
that. Like you have the bouts between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, where they paid out an exorbitant amount of money for those fighters, but didn't have any returns on them. And we just had this recent example here of the last crescendo on February 22nd with the fight card that it had, and the commercial success over in the United States just didn't come to fruition.
Yeah,
Not
and I want to say something else. Because you have people out there who keeps claiming that Turkey doesn't care if he makes money. If he don't care, he don't care. He don't care. If he don't care if he makes money, can you explain to me why every event is on pay-per-view?
even if we supposedly offer it at a lower price, yeah, like why is it under pay-per-view paywall? Like if you didn't care about making money, then make it free 99.
Exactly.
I tell you what, if he think that he gonna run a coup with Netflix, he got a big thing coming. Because I know even though I mean the capacity that they were probably handling a higher capacity, they didn't have a positive review from fans.
Well, we're talking about the Jake Paul event.
Was it the Jake Paul?
You talking about Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Oh, Netflix, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they love Jake Paul. They love Jake Paul.
Well, I'm saying in terms of Netflix being able to handle a bunch of people.
Well, all right. Let me stop you right there. Okay. I don't care what event Turki Alalshikh puts on, that none of them would be as big as Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. So they're not gonna have to handle that many people. It won't even be as big as the NFL games, which saw no problems, and it won't even be as big as Monday Night Raw, which sees no problems. Okay? Like the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson event was a fucking phenomenon that we may never see in boxing again. So that's why they struggled with all those people trying to access Netflix all at the same time. But you're not going to get that kind of fervor when it comes to one of these Riyadh season events.
So if Jake Paul fight fight Canelo, you don't think it would come close to that?
No. I love Canelo. That's my guy. He ain't no Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you're right. He not.
Mm-mm. Like they're not global phenomenons like Mike Tyson is.
Yeah, exactly. You got motherfuckers like me who thought that Mike Tyson was going to win. Okay, so he ain't no Mike Tyson.
Oh, someone just appeared since you mentioned the name, and that's of course the undefeated Brooklyn Barwick is in the chat. Everyone to know this is a female Jake Paul. Shout out to Brooklyn Barwick.
Hey man, let her come and get her her words off after her win, man.
Yeah, I'll see if I can share the link here so we could follow up with. Come on.
Matt, don't be a hater all your life.
Yeah.
I thought you were a supporter of women's boxing, Matt. You sounding very insert word right now.
I am.
Oh my God! Oh, come on!
I am a supporter. But I need her to get a T-shirt.
Say it again.
Oh man!
I said I am a supporter, but I need her to get a T-shirt. I need her to get a brunch boxing T-shirt.
Oh, so she needs to get a brunch boxing T-shirt in order.
Hey, I'll get one if you give me a discount.
Yeah, I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a discount.
Okay, I'll talk to you offline.
Hey, hold on. Give me a few moments, and I will go ahead and get you on here. But yeah, this is most definitely interesting topic there. Matt, I think you had something in reference to potentially two organizations coming together in response to this thing here for TKO Boxing League, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
So obviously, Natural Bedfellows, PBC, and Top Rank. It would make a lot of sense for them to come together. How you doing? It would make a lot of sense for them to come together to combat whatever's going on with TKO and Turki Alalshikh. But listen, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been asking, I've been begging actually, but I've been told if it makes sense, they'll do work together, but it won't be any type of formal alliance.
Like formal partnership, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they, of course, we know they work together multiple times to make events happen. So, that's not much of a problem for them. It's just as far as like them doing an actual partnership type thing. Yeah, they haven't necessarily said that they would go any closer to doing that. So there it is. You know what I mean?
But I understand because maybe they don't feel like they can trust Todd the Buck.
Mm-hmm.
I read that lawsuit. If those
Mm-hmm.
allegations are correct, you can't trust them. And plus, they do their own thing. They got their own fighters to worry about. So
yeah, both parties have their own fighters to worry about. There's a lot of things going on in reference to Heyman Boxing, Premier Boxing Champions, and also with Top Rank have a lot of things going on here, and hopefully I'll be able to send post an update in reference to that as far as like one side there, as they have a number of things planned here for the next few months or so. Okay, but for the time being, okay, it's been I would say about 8 days since this has happened. But we at the Boston Source, of course, we greatly appreciate the guests that come on to the show. And of course, I got to bring in another great guest here on the show. As on March 1st,
I see that fucking grin on your face, that Cheshire cat grin. So I already know who it is. But continue.
Okay, but come on, they requested it, so of course I got to make it happen. Listen, I know that Matt is for the people, but I'm also for the people too, and I got to bring in this guest. Of course, now I want to know with a TKO win that she scored in Mexico. Of course, y'all know it's the big deal. Brooklyn
motherfucking Barwick, baby. Let's go.
Yes.
So say TKO, huh?
That's correct.
54 seconds.
I like that.
Is the fight on YouTube?
I can put it on YouTube. I put it on Twitter. They did a
Oh,
bunch
Twitter.
of live streaming bullshit, and then they wanted me back, and I said, "Yo, if I'm coming back, I gotta be like mid card, because what the fuck was that?"
I like that sweater though. It's a nice sweater. Very nice sweater.
I was outside. I was in Harlem getting brunch, and then I'm back on a diet tomorrow.
So after having this fight against Alejandro Maruco over in San Luis Rio, Colorado, Mexico.
Now I got another plot. Are you ready for this? This is a Boxing Source exclusive. I got another bout in April.
So right back at it.
Like
So
a crack addict.
you got to be right back in the gym, right back with the diet too, I guess.
No, I was in the gym, bro. I got my shit rocked before I fucking left to fucking New York. At Top Rank, I fucking got my shit rocked. This girl said she was 120. She was 155. I felt that shit through her fucking punch. I was like, damn. Why is this cross hurting more than it like should be? Oh fuck. She's almost 160 pounds. Fucking bullshit, but
You know what? I was gonna make a comment about that, but I'm gonna just hold that comment. So we're
she's
gonna keep
fat as
moving forward.
fuck.
We're gonna keep moving forward on that. Like we said there, you're able to score that win against Alejandro Maruco on March 1st.
Yep.
Therefore, your first pro victory, and we've been able to follow you along the way as far as like getting prepared for this pro debut and everything.
Yes, it was a lot.
Yeah, and so like I said, you were able to handle business, and you were able to keep keep me updated as far as like making weight, and then getting into the fight and winning the fight.
Although no, I called him immediately with a fucking like chocolate like protein bar in my mouth. I'm like, bro, I did it. I can eat.
Yeah, this is like this. Hey, Matt, this was like at the same time we was out there for the weigh-in for Jake Davis versus Lamont Rhodes Jr. Man, she called me right there and said, "Hey," holding the chocolate bar, and saying, "I made weight." There, so that was the thing, right? Shout out to Smack Like That in the building on the live chat here. It says she definitely sound like Brooklyn.
Yeah, the fuck? They call me BK. What the fuck is good, bro? BK's gonna have it her way all 2025 and beyond. Let's go.
It says
Francesca
congrats on the.
Hennessy won last night too. So I'm still on that shit. I'ma still catch that body real quick.
Yeah. It says congrats on the TKO. Great way to start the pro career. And
Yeah,
like
baby.
you'll be able to follow her, of course, there through Brooklyn Boxing. The big deal. Just look her up on the Instagram and things like that. But also I'll reach out to you, Smack, and you'll get I'll be able to forward the information to you as well. There, we got Matt back in the building. Of course, he's in the mean streets of the Bronx, I think.
Yo, where you at, Matt? I'm in Harlem. Pull up.
Oh man, I don't know, man. He's probably
He's
going back
probably
and forth.
still mad that me and Clarissa are beefing.
Yeah, that's the thing there. Of course, he is the president of the Deontay Wilder Fan Club, but he might also be campaigning for the president of the Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields fan club, bro.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
I mean,
bro.
it is what it is in reference to that. So, there's comments about that and another thing. So,
Yo,
you did say
hold
that.
on. Between me and you, because I know you were at Gleason's for the weigh-ins, I looked at some boxers that were in the pan, like little view thing.
Mhm.
Everyone looked so raggedy. I don't know what it was. I don't know if
Oh,
people didn't have a dress code, but like,
well, I wasn't at the weigh-ins on Wednesday because I
you
didn't make
weren't?
it up there until Thursday. I didn't make it up there until Thursday.
Bro,
Well,
everybody
the
looked
weigh-ins, but
so
the workout,
raggedy.
the weigh-ins were on Friday. The workout was Wednesday at Gleason's gym. So that
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday I wasn't there, but I was there Thursday and Friday before the fight.
Bro, I don't know why, but everyone looked so raggedy.
Hey, it's a couple days before they got to
They
make
didn't
weight.
get the stamp of approval from Big Deal. I'm gonna start making those stamps. For
Uh,
real. You'll get a stamp. Matt will get a stamp. Everybody that has the stamp of approval will get a fucking stamp. But like some of the outfits there, I was like, homie, you on
uh,
camera on the zone looking like that? I don't know. Oh my god.
I mean, hey, I don't think that they're necessarily concerned about the whole fashion side. Leading into the fight. Maybe the day of when they're going to the Barclays Center, the day of the fight. Then yeah, they could go ahead and put on their best gear. Before they enter the Barclays Center. But yeah, leading into that, they ain't really caring about all that. All they're caring about is making weight. You know what I mean? So there's
Mhm.
but like you were saying there, you got another fight lined up here, so you're staying busy, staying active there. So like how were you able to get this secured there? Was it like before the fight or just like right after the fight that you were able to lock down this belt in April?
Literally 2 hours ago, I locked down this fight.
Okay,
So
all right, so there you go. So there it is as part of that breaking news that says that
breaking news 2 hours ago.
as of 2 hours ago, you have your second professional fight that will be in April. And like you were saying there, you've been doing a lot of work over at the Top Rank Gym in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I say
Yep.
there. And that has been definitely a key part of you preparing for that pro debut thing, and also
Yeah.
preparing for future fights here later on down the line. So what was it to get that work in? Because you've had a number of times where you did make posts about being part of or being at the Top Rank Gym there during your preparation for your pro debut.
Yeah, I'm not signed or anything to Top Rank. So Top Rank, if you want to sign me, I'm totally open to it. But the gym environment was so good. They had like honestly the best like pad men. They had the best coaches there, best equipment, obviously. And for the weight cut, it really helped that they had a body sauna. So I was just sitting in that thing for like 30 minutes, like shedding off pounds by the minute. So yeah, it was really good. When I'm out in Vegas, I'm definitely training out of there. Um, but yeah, like it's just it was just fell into my hands. Started training there, and it fit like a glove. So now we out there.
Gotcha. And my guy spec like that says, "Hey, she from New York. Fashion is always a topic."
I ain't from New York, but you know damn well I represent these five boroughs very well, bro. Very well.
Hold on. She is not from New York. She's from California. Get the fuck out of here.
But I
Oh.
represent these boroughs very well, bro. Very, very well.
Oh.
Look at New York, I'm back, baby.
Oh, Matt out here fact checking people.
I know. All right, I'm a transplant. I'm very open about that. All right, my name is Brooklyn. I don't live in Brooklyn. I live in Harlem. All right, the weirdest thing, and I'm even from fucking California. But even weirder, I grew up in Texas. Like you see me, I'm bi-coastal as fuck. All right, but I claim New York.
There you go. So there it is in reference to that. Matt had the fact check. I thought Matt
Listen.
did the fact check.
I can't have people false flag in New York. You know me, 494 Jefferson Avenue between Marcus Garvey and Lewis, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So you know I can't have people false flag in New York.
Yo, we in between Broadway and Amsterdam right now. Pull up. Pull up.
Oh man. So like you were saying there, you have your first bout there. Of course, you have Bones Adams as your lead trainer.
Yeah,
There.
Bones. He didn't end up coming with me to the fucking bout. Bones
Mm,
Adams was great. I think that the gym environment there, it was very private, very like I got isolated, which was good. But I have no bad feelings towards Bones. It's just I couldn't continue to fight out of there just because I needed more one-on-one attention, and he has
mm,
like a bunch of bare knuckle fighters and shit. So it's like I can always go back there. Like I'll spar Nelsie, his girlfriend. Like I fucking love Nelsie. Nelsie has great work, but like yeah, like I'm just on that point where like I had to call him up and I'd be like, yo, because I'm very straightforward with business. Like y'all get to see the like Brooklyn side of me, but no, like as big deal, I'm like, all right, this is what I want. If it can't get achieved, all right, I gotta go like pivot and move on to the next thing. And Bones is good. His facilities were good, but going to top rank is a big opportunity. Getting the exposure with different like recruits and shit, like that's the type of environment I need right now,
mhm.
especially since I'm kickstarting my pro career. Maybe I could circle back to training out of Bones like later in my career, but right now I need to get the exposure. I need to get signed onto like a promotion team, that type of thing, you know.
Mm. And like you said there, being in the top rank gym, you could have it to where, hey, a number of those people involved with top rank could notice you and see what you're doing here for, not just your first fight, but this next fight here coming up in April, and say, hey, maybe we could do something with Brooklyn Barwick and have her be involved in top rank cards maybe later on down the line. So hey,
Exactly. I'm actually moving to Vegas, so we're gonna have to say goodbye to the pink apartment, like when this lease ends. But I wanted to move to Vegas. I wanted to take my fucking shit seriously. And I think that out of the five boroughs, I think I'm the one that's gonna like put it on the map. Like, yo, like we got people. We don't get me wrong, especially in like the male scene, like we got people. But like females, we ain't got none. We ain't got none. And if we got professional boxers out of New York, they ain't shit. Respectfully, they ain't got a name that hits. So we got to do it big and we got to do it hard and we got to make it a big deal. So that's why I'm here in this industry.
Interesting there. So with that being said, moving over to Las Vegas and being there full time, as we've had, previous conversations about it, like being able to, do that work, not just at the top ranked gym, but multiple other gyms there within that city itself. So, you could have all those fighters that could come to Top Rank Gym, or you could have it to the point where, hey, I could go over to, like, say for example, Capetillo's gym or somebody else's gym out there.
DLX, like something like that. Yeah. Like, I'm just on the wavelength of, and even LA is 4 hours away.
Yeah.
I can even like hop on a bus to LA, fly for 45 minutes if I wanted to. It's very accessible.
Yep, for sure. Now,
Mhm.
going back to that pro debut there, like I said, being able to take care of business.
I know, bro. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of salty it was a TKO because that girl, you didn't see in the video, but her fucking eyes started bleeding, and I was like going. That's why I doubled up on that fucking cross. And
Yeah,
then like she was like just slapping me because I found out later like that bitch started bleeding. I don't know if I hurt her retina or whatever the fuck that thing is called for the eyes, but that shit happened, bro. That shit happened.
yeah, and
So you busting people heads? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I've literally bust this bitch's head in, and I was like, damn, I didn't know I could bash like that.
well, I mean, hey,
All right. Well, let's see you do that to Clarissa Shields.
Will she come down to my weight class?
Come on,
That's a great question, Brooklyn. That's a
come on,
great question.
come on,
Will she?
come on. Yo,
No, don't come on me, because I ain't
you
going
weigh
up
like
to fucking
100
60s.
pounds. You weigh like 100 pounds. No, she's not coming down to your weight class.
I weigh 120.
oh my god.
I think I was 120 in 4th grade.
Okay, then you just answered your own question. There ain't
How
no
tall
way
were
I'm
you in
stepping
fourth
in a ring
grade?
with her, but like we can spar.
In 4th grade, I was like 5'4".
I'm 4'11. You
I,
realize I'm 4'11?
5'4", 120 back. Come on.
You realize I'm
Listen.
4'11?
I was built like a bad bitch. What you want me to say?
Oh my god. No.
You realize I'm 4'11 and I fight 122?
God,
Yeah.
I got somebody for you. I got
I am
somebody
a
for you.
true lightweight. You realize that?
I'm gonna get Chicken Metcalf on her.
Who's Chicken Metcalf?
Oh, Sharetta Metcalf.
Whoever that
Yep.
bitch is, I'll fucking knock her out. But I don't know who
Okay.
she is.
Oh.
I
Hey,
said this was Amanda
that's on
Serrano,
the
and then I
Breast
found out who
Boxing
the fuck
Podcast.
Serrano was.
That's on the Breast Boxing Podcast there, folks. Brooklyn Barber says that he will knock out Sharetta Metcalf. Okay.
Hey, no, you gotta do the full quote. I don't know who she
I'm
is, but I'm gonna knock her out.
I'm gonna clip this portion of the show and I'm going to text it to her.
Yeah, you gotta like
But you
do the
got to
full
add the
quote.
end
I don't
though.
know who she is, but I'll knock her out. Like standing.
There you go. So you got that. You got that on wax.
You
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 got that
got
on
it. You
wax
got
right
it.
there.
Like, come on. You can share that shit. I don't know who she is, but I'm gonna stand on my ground. I'm gonna fucking brawl when I gotta.
All right. So there you have it. Hey, we can have something set up here in the near future.
Is she a 122? What is she?
She's a champion.
She's a what?
She's the IBF champ.
Yeah, she's the IBF champion at 118 pounds.
Yo, we going to 118 bantam. Okay. Bet.
Yeah. So there you go. So you can have that matchup happening here in the near future. I know that you're talking about potentially fighting another world champion there, but hey, you can
I'll
have.
take Fran and I'll take whoever this girl is. I'll take them all.
All right. So there you go. There you go. We're making potential matchups here on the
No,
Boxing
but big
Sports
shout out to
Podcast.
Fran because like she really improved. I'm not even gonna cap to you.
Hey, Spec like that says, hey, Brooklyn Barber says, line them up and she's gonna knock them out.
Exactly. Line them up. Line them up.
Oh man. So of course, we when we've been talking here in reference to building up to your pro debut, you're working with Emily Pednalakis Curtin there with Emily Boxing, and
I love her. She's
doing
literally the
a
best
great
fucking
job there.
publicist ever.
With having you being out there as far as like promoting yourself and being in there as far as like in the scene with a number of these boxing scenes, going to the fights and seeing how things are going down, and then also kind of like taking that in as far as like being able to use that as far as like marketing yourself there. So like, how did that stand out to you as far as like leading into your pro debut?
Honestly, I had literally the best support around me. I also had a lot of fucking haters. I got jumped. And just a lot of people did not fuck with my vibe. That's okay. But the support I had was very, very much needed. I loved every single second of it. Like, I don't know. It's something different. It really is, like, just knowing that you can do this all by yourself if you really wanted to, but also having a team, like having Emily, having a nutritionist, having like different coaches for different things. It was really helpful. And I got to give it all to my manager Serge for that trip, because I basically was going alone, like no coaches except Serge. And Serge, he's a world champion, yeah. But at the same time, like fucking homeboy broke his foot, had a whole ass boot, and was holding pads for me, getting me wrapped up, like just different shit. So I was like, you know what? Like I gotta give it all to him. But being in the mix, especially with Emily's marketing, I think that it was very much needed. It very much elevated my career because she's very fucking smart. Like, if you think about it, I don't have a traditional amateur background. And the days that we all met in person while we were at the Las Vegas, like, Benavides, like, press conference, she had me ping ponging from like different radio stations, fucking different content creators. She was impressed actually when I went up to you, James. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's my friend. He wanted a video." She was like, "Oh good." I did 14 interviews, including James that day, and including brunch boxing, and only 2 of them I knew. The 12 of them, she set them up. So she was very much. She came up with the game plan. They were talking about the dildo throwing. And just like fucking
Wait,
transitioning
what?
into.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you missed you didn't know about that as far as like when she was in the influencer boxing circuit. That was one of the viral
Here for
moments
your
of
OnlyFans.
that where she threw a dildo at her opponent.
I fucked my opponent outside and inside the ring. Here for your OnlyFans. And then whipped her. Fucking, that's one of the fights I know I did win. I got severely robbed on that one. But they were, honestly, it's funny. We have a WhatsApp chat. When I made weight, I was like, "Hey guys, I made weight flawlessly." And no, I did not throw a dildo. And then Dave's reply was, "Next time, if you want to throw a dildo, can we at least get a brand sponsorship for it?" And I was like, "Yo, if I have an Adam and Eve sponsorship, y'all know why." Because everybody, including Emily, was ping ponging like ideas in that chat. Like, "Oh, like I'm so glad you're being professional, Brooklyn. But next time, if you want to do anything, make sure we're getting money out of it."
Yeah. That's the name of the game. You'll hear professional boxing is to be able to you'll have the interest of companies to back you and to sponsor
Imagine
you. You
if
know what I
I
mean?
actually get one, James, y'all are gonna be fucking shaking, been like, "How the fuck did this bitch get a fucking dildo sponsorship?"
Now, if you had something like that, then yeah, that would be the wildest thing.
That would be, I would
Would be
be
the wildest thing
literally
in
the
professional
labeled the
boxing.
most freakiest boxer.
Not gonna lie, that would be the wildest thing in professional boxing. If you got a sponsorship for something like that, man.
They have OnlyFans. Why not dildos? Let me find one. Let me put it on my
Hey,
sports
hey, I
card.
mean, hey, if you could have OnlyFans, on your trunks, then I don't know, maybe. But they have, of course,
Nikita, a bunch of different people are OnlyFans athletes, so
yeah. So yeah,
could
that
happen.
definitely could happen there. So like you said, you have your next bout here scheduled for April. So you're like right back at it, right back in the gym here pretty soon. So you have like a lot to look forward to there to getting more work there at the gym, at least over at Top Rank, to get you prepared for this next bout
Yep.
there. So what would you say is? I mean, I know you say you've done a lot of work there, you've had a lot of fun there, but what stands out as like one of the tough things that you did over there at Top Rank Gym?
Holy shit, 1 through 10s. So you you do a combination all the way up until 10. So then you go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, all the way up until 10. That shit gets tiring, and they do 4-minute rounds at Top Rank.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you got to do it over and over and over and over and over for 4 minutes before you'll get a little bit of a, well, as I said, like 1 minute break.
A
So
30-second break. No, you said 1 minute. That's generous. No, 30-second break.
you know what I mean? So yeah,
Frank got Top Rank locked in. Like everybody there is just getting in, getting their work, getting out.
yeah, gotcha. Who within that gym you maybe you would say is someone that you could or potentially look up to or do look up to there while you were doing your work there for your pro debut?
Honestly, meeting Nico Ali Walsh was pretty cool. I think that I do kind of like I fuck with his vibe, obviously because he's Muhammad Ali's grandson, but also like he came off a loss. He came very humble, and he was just back at it. I think it was right before or right after my pro debut that I met him, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like this is wild." And he didn't get to watch me spar. But there was like the spar before I came back here a few days ago, the 155 girl. I thought it was complete slime. It's not on Top Rank at all. It's strictly on the athlete. But everyone was like, "Damn, you kept your composure in there," because I was getting rocked. I'm a small woman. Y'all know how tall I am, how much I weigh. I'm like a fucking toothpick, and I'm like, but I still held my own. But I still did it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the thing there with Nico Ali Walsh. Yeah, you did suffer his latest loss there, the February 14th card in New York City there at the theater at Madison Square Garden, and so he turned around and went back at it, went back to the gym there, a couple weeks or like a week after having that decision loss there. So you're able to see like him continuing to work, to
Oh
continuing
yeah,
to.
no, that man's gonna rebound. I don't really know him that well, but like just by like looking, just like passing through like Top Rank, they have like 2 rings, and then you pass through to get to like the fucking
Mhm.
bags and shit. Like that man's locked in. I don't know what kind of demons he's fighting. I don't know what the fuck is going on in his head. But the next time he goes out, that man is gonna win. Trust.
Right. We gotta see what they have in store for him or lined up for him in the near future there, so that he'll be able to get right back into the
Wait,
win
wait,
column.
wait. She talking about Nico Ali Walsh?
Yes,
Yeah,
Nico Ali Walsh.
I
No,
met him for
man.
the first
Listen,
time. He's so nice.
let me tell you something.
Uh,
Respect to him. He need to get a real estate license.
Hey, I wonder if I wonder if Matt is funny. Matt is funny. I wonder if he did something like the contender, would that make him drastically improve, kind of like Shane Mosley Jr. But
or
the
or
thing is,
pro box,
Shane.
overtime boxing.
So what?
Be involved in like a pro box card or overtime boxing, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying with the contender,
Meaning
it's
East Side.
it's the level of fighters that he would be good with, and just sort of get that confidence. Because I mean, Shane Mosley Jr. literally changed. Like, I mean, obviously he had the pedigree because I'm sure he watched his dad and his dad tells him stuff, but he's a different fighter. I mean, obviously he is limited in terms of like um his raw talent, but with his will and just the things that he's learning, you could tell he's a good learner. And then, almost winning a contender. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
It's,
Nah, so
it's,
I don't really know Nico. Obviously I do know of his grandfather, but like he was very nice to me. I think that just judging from an outsider's perspective, because I know you guys are boxing analysts and you guys been following this kid's career, just by like the few interactions I've had with him, whatever the fuck he's gonna do next, he's gonna come back hard. Like I don't know what demons he's fighting. I don't know what the fuck is going through his head, but all I know is like he's still obsessed with boxing. He's still doing his shit. He was fucking back, right back into Top Rank. So, yeah.
oh, Brunch Boxing, there. Shout out to Brunch Boxing, brother Matt of Brunch Boxing, that
What
has
did he
shared,
say?
no, that has shared this particular stream and did mention a thing there in reference to what you said about Sharetta Metcalf.
Yo,
And
I don't know who this girl is, but I'll knock her out. What is she saying about me now?
she also said, "Who is this?" In reference to Brooklyn Barwick. But we, like I said, we'll have the clip of what you were saying here, and then we'll share it. And then
Yo, no, you gotta do the whole thing of, hey, I don't know this girl, but I'll knock her out.
yeah, that's definitely part of it there. Because the one thing here is pretty interesting. Going from box wreck, uh, box wreck has you listed in the featherweight division, which has a weight limit of 126, which is kind of interesting. 122 to 126. Do you see yourself potentially
No, I'm
being up
going
there in
down.
that
I think I
division?
told y'all I'm going down to 118 for the Columbia bout.
Okay, so we have
Maybe
you
like 122 at most, but like I was planning on 18.
118. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
well,
gotta.
because the blonde hair Brooklyn, that like photo of like big deal and everything, that was me at 117. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so they have you. I guess you're gonna develop it, get down to that particular weight, and get yourself comfortable at that weight to continue your
Yo,
professional
I don't
career.
know. Should I pull up the laptop and start responding to Saudi, being like, yeah, come on, man.
We could table that here for the time being until we're necessarily done with this particular interview, and then we're gonna work on having these clips ready so that
Oh my
once we're
god, this
ready,
is gonna be
we'll be able to
insane.
really we'll be able to
And just so you know, I'm roasting the shit out of you on Twitter right now. Just so you
What?
know,
What did
I'm
I
roasting the
do?
shit out of you on Twitter right now.
oh,
What did
oh,
I do?
oh
Yo,
my
can
well,
you
well,
tag
first of all,
Prince from whatever the fuck, the Mr. Suspicious guy, and be
No,
like,
no,
yo,
no,
no,
no, no, no,
no,
no, no.
Blacker.
I'm good. I'm good.
no.
I'm
Y'all
good.
don't like him?
Well,
I don't dislike anybody. I don't dislike anybody. Don't ever put that
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
But
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. But what
Be
was
like,
it?
No,
Clocker.
If I'm
I
not
think that this
mistaken,
girl is a suspicious opponent, bro. The IBF girl, sus.
but if I'm not mistaken, didn't a Levante Davis mention him at the press conference? Uh,
Yes. The little pussy.
oh man. So, but that that's a whole different story for a whole different time there. So we got you right back in the ring in April.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan on having as far as like the amount of fights this year?
Probably like 3 to 4.
Okay,
3 to 4.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you had the thing there. What is it? The Team Brooklyn thing there as well.
Yep.
And like you said, you're marketing yourself, you're putting yourself out there so that once this fight gets closer here, as we're pretty much like 4 or 5 weeks away or so for this next fight, that you'll be able to present yourself out to sponsors so that they'll be able to invest into Brooklyn Barwick. And we got to see about 3 or 4 different logos there, whether it's on your gear, walking into the fight, or in your trunks there while you're fighting there. So kind of like put out your quote unquote advertisement to these companies to say
Do
why
you
you.
guys want unlimited shout outs from purchase date until fight day and 2 weeks after? Hit up Brooklyn Barwick at Brooklyn Barwick on all social medias. Um, we have affordable pricings. We can negotiate a deal for you. Um, but yeah, so hit me up. I do have different sponsorship tiers, and I work with different budgets.
Gotcha. So there you go. That's the commercial there for Brooklyn Barwick. Like I said, we'll have something
I want
there.
a brunch boxing logo on me, but brunch hates me.
He don't
He has
hate
a
you.
whole
That's
pink
what he does when he
logo.
that's what he does when he like people. He that's how he acts when he like people.
I know and he's fucking roasting me on Twitter right now. Damn.
Yeah, well, we might have to, speak with another representative of brunch boxing in order to arrange that to make it happen.
I just want a brunch boxing logo right on my shorts. Be like, boop. Yup.
Hey,
Hi, this
see,
is Brooklyn.
that would kind of like make history there for brunch boxing. The first fighter to have the brunch boxing logo on their trucks there.
And it's a Clarissa Shields hater. Ah!
Now that
Don't miss this jet, Matt. Don't miss this jet, Matt.
that would be insane. That would be absolutely.
Oh my god. Hey, if anything, if he sponsored her, he'd be sponsoring a Brooklyn Barwick hater.
I mean, there it is. But hey, I will say this: sponsoring Brooklyn Barwick would likely be easier than sponsoring Clarissa Shields at this point.
Real.
I'll say that. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, bitch ain't suspended.
Oh man. Oh goodness. Let's go.
Hey. Hold on.
Oh
No.
Look at the rebuttal.
No. We're not doing that.
At least he quick on her feet, though. You saw what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Oh, this is great. This is great. Oh man. So like I was saying, there, of course, y'all can follow Brooklyn Barwick on all social media platforms. There, she is on X, she is on Instagram. I think she has a thing there on Facebook as well. So you'll be able to follow the latest there with Brooklyn Barwick. As I mentioned, she does have her second bout scheduled for April. So be on the lookout for more details on that. As she'll be preparing for that as well. And like you said, you're pretty much getting ready to be in Las Vegas full time there to kind of like continue your professional career and do work there. And like I said, that being in that city, you'll be able to learn a lot within the sport of pro boxing and how to prepare yourself for these fights and also market yourself there as a professional fighter for
and my team, all of my team is over there basically, so it'll be good. It'll be really good.
Gotcha. So just seeing here, because we got a number of things here we're going to be talking about. Not sure what you got here coming up just at this moment, but wanted to go ahead and talk about what happened last week over in the Barclays Center. So you got anything else here for us?
Nah, I'm gonna just sit and hear the chatter. All right, I'm kind of glad that a person got called a pussy right now, so I'm gonna just sit and watch the chatter.
Oh man, and shout out to James Box's chat in the building. He says he now chicken is on to you now, Brooklyn. So yeah, you do have to check. Yeah, you have to check X right now because, like I said, that put out the signal. He put out the signal.
The green light. Hold up, I need to look at this.
Oh man, so
oh my god, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You just can't see you. Oh man, so yeah, we definitely got this thing here. I guess we're planting this.
I'm this. Why the hell? I got a green light on me.
Not sure what's going on there with the mic or whatnot, but yeah, we pretty much have planted the seed there for this to take place here. You know what I mean? So you should be back. Well, it looks like it's kind of like going off and on there, whatnot, there. But seeing here, while she tries to get back on the scene here, wanted to talk about of course, the fallout from what happened at the Barclays Center on March 1st with Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. Of course, that bout resulting in a majority draw, 2 scores of 114-114. And one score of 115-113 for Gervonta Tank Davis. And Well, of course, the major story there is in reference to the knockdown. It wasn't called a knockdown. And the New York State Athletic Commission, pretty much like recently upheld that decision here, even after appeal from Lamont Roach Jr. and his team. So now it's all about, okay, is there going to be a rematch set for these two fighters? Now, I myself, along with Matt of Brunch Boxing, was in attendance at the post-fight press conference, and it was kind of brought up to Tank Davis about having a rematch with Lamont Roach Jr., and he pretty much like said for sure, but at the time he said not necessarily next there, which kind of made it interesting because he kind of hinted that the next opponent may have been in the locker room with him there at the Barclays Center, which is kind of interesting there. And someone asked it was Shakur Stevenson. He immediately said, no, nope, ain't Shakur Stevenson there. Shout out to James here in the live chat. There he says, hey, it's a bad decision not to overturn it after the failed replay in round 9 and the New York State Athletic Commission. There needs to be a rematch. Okay. Now, I've said multiple times that there does need to be a rematch. But I've also said that the rematch shouldn't take place in the state of New York or in Brooklyn. Okay. There's been some responses as far as like my comment as far when it comes to the New York State Athletic Commission and how they've handled things for this particular instance and multiple instances in the past. And because of this recent decision and the magnitude of the event and what they're able to do at the event there with the attendance records, the gate, which I still have to get the official numbers on that. But with what happened there during that particular bout, I say, you know what? New York State Athletic Commission, they handled it the way that they handled it. Replay was out there at the time. They said, hey, we didn't feel like it constituted as knockdown in real time. And so at that point, they pretty much upheld it. But other things as far as like, Steve Willis handling it the way that he handled it, not just with the knee, but also with, the corner Tank Davis being able to, wipe off, the face of Tank Davis there without like a proper timeout or something like that. So my thing is, if you're going to have a rematch, have it where the first fight should have been at Capital One Arena. Let's bring it back to DC. Come on, let's bring it back to DC. Let's make it happen. You could have co-feature bout unification. Gary Antoine Russell, Alberto Puello. You got 2 rematches on the same card. I already set it up. Hey, listen, y'all should hire me. Okay, I should be booking the territory. I should be booking the damn territory there. So. Hey, Tom Brown, hit me up. No. Oh man, hit me up, Tom Brown, hit me up. Now, Matt has been able to, provide more clarification in reference to what happened there at that particular instance, and also with the New York State Athletic Commission upholding the decision, despite what Lamont Roach Jr. said, despite what Gary Jonas has said, and Lamont Roach Sr. has said here over the past week there. So, Matt, would you like to expound on that and what you think should happen next?
So I just want to make things very clear. The New York State Athletic Commission, the replay officials saw the replay, and he told the people that provided the replay, the production team, we got what we need. Yep, not a knockdown, wasn't from a punch. So we have to, first of all, start there. We have to stop saying that a technical issue prevented the replay from showing. They saw the replay. They saw the replay before round 10 began, okay, which is within the rules. Now, had they had issues getting the replay, what they could have done was start the round 30 seconds late, but inform the commission and inform the fighters. The fact that they didn't even try to start the round 30 seconds late tells you that they saw the replay. They saw the replay and they ruled it not a knockdown. Now, maybe they thought that in a moment it wasn't a knockdown. Okay? Maybe that's what they thought, which is fine. But I think the public backlash forced them into a corner where they lied to the public. Now, I do believe even if they ruled it a knockdown, which they did retroactively, you still cannot change the decision of the fight because we don't know how either fighter would fight if a knockdown was called in that moment. So not only is it not fair to Tank, it wouldn't be fair to Lamont Roach either. We don't know what would happen. We can't just retroactively change the decision. Now, should they have a rematch? Yes, they should have the rematch. If they could work out that rematch next, yes, they should work it out next. And I believe that it would be a huge fucking fight because this whole event has entered the public sphere outside of boxing. So I do think it would be a bigger event and even more lucrative for both fighters. Will it happen next? I believe it will happen next. Should it happen in DC? Hell no. Fuck y'all. We want that back in New York. We want it back in New York, baby.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Oh, man. Nah, man. Bring it back to DC. Bring it back to DC, man. But real quick, man, shout out to my guy, James Boxing Chat, with the contribution to the Boxing Source there. You know what I'm saying? New sub there. So y'all also check out James Boxing Chat there on YouTube as well. So he there has is building up his channel as well here on YouTube. But shout out there for having being able to sub to the Boxing Source YouTube channel.
I got some on what Matt said.
Okay, go ahead.
I would have to agree with Matt in that, unfortunately, they didn't change it or catch it or whatever the phrase is after the round. And so the fact that they didn't catch it then, you cannot change it because, again, as Matt said, we don't know how the fighters would have changed their sort of approaches to the fight. And if they did catch it at that point, then you correct it. You let everybody know, hey, +1 for Roach. And then, the cards fall how they may. But at this point, yeah, it's a missed call. And I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Interesting comment here on the live chat from James Boxing Chat says that he feels that the rematch makes more money than even the Shakur versus Tank fight at this moment, especially with the Tank fans. What are y'all thoughts about that?
I don't think Shakur does himself any favors with how he fights. We had 2 fights. Okay, one got Tank in it. So let me just add an equalizer for that. But the Tank fight went well into 12, 1 o'clock, right? But I didn't hear many people talking about, man, this was too late and the card started too late and why were we up? And you know what I'm saying? People weren't complaining. It was what people needed to stay awake. And unfortunately,
with the exception of Dana White, which I have no idea why he would say that or in reference to, I don't know who it was. One of his relatives said that they were in attendance there and they said that it ran too long. I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Come on.
I mean, in theory, yes, you don't want the fight going until 1 o'clock. But in terms of what happened in the actual outcome of the fight, everybody was thoroughly engaged. We had a lot of drama. We had a lot of action. Both guys competed. And then, we had an underdog story. You can't say that same thing for the last Shakur fight that went to 12 o'clock because everybody had a different sort of perspective. And so my thing is, I don't think he does himself any favors in terms of people just really wanting to see him. And so to the point of what whoever said, yeah, people probably want to see Lamont Roach, even if Lamont Roach, doesn't perform how he performs in the first round. The fact that he did perform at that level and gave it his all and, wasn't necessarily trying to box. And Shakur is a superb boxer. Let's put it there. And seeing this fight, I think he would give Tank a certain level of problems. But yeah, people probably want to see Roach more.
Now, given that Shakur Stevenson had his recent fight against Josh Padley on February 22nd, and then before that, last July against Artem Harutyunyan, where you had what happened there at the Prudential Center, and Matt, almost fell asleep there watching that fight. I almost watched. No, I didn't fall asleep watching that fight, but you had those fights, and then also the one against Edwin De Los Santos, which a lot of people were talking about there over in Las Vegas. That Shakur Stevenson doesn't necessarily have that type of aura or the I guess the interest, so to speak, that for having a potential fight against Tank Davis at this particular point there that says, hey, okay, this should be the fight, right? But with Lamont Roach, of course, as we mentioned, having a lot of familiarity with Tank Davis, not just in the amateurs, but also coming up in the pros. So like each fighter knew each other, so it made for a great fight there between the two, or at least particularly in the second half of the fight. So now it's like, okay, given that Tank Davis came into that bout 30-0, 28 wins by way of knockout, a huge favorite against Lamont Roach going into the fight, and then Lamont Roach being able to compete, how he was able to compete, kind of like opened the eyes of a lot of people that have been outside of the Washington, D.C. area that were not familiar with Lamont Roach Jr. So now it kind of like is generating that buzz that, hey, we would want to see a rematch to see what Tank Davis does here in a rematch, especially given his comments at the post-fight press conference, and also what Lamont Roach Jr. would do in a rematch, because he already is familiar with Tank Davis and isn't necessarily, as I mentioned, intimidated by Tank Davis there leading into the bout.
Let me tell you a bigger issue that I think is at play at this. When the last time we had a fight, and I'm not answering this question in my own mind, I'm just asking it, sort of loosely here. When the last time we had a fight with two for sort of black styles? Like when the last time we had that type of fight where we had two black styles that the community can grasp to and just like roll with. It's I don't know when the last time. I mean, you can tell me.
I would say June 15th, 2024, when Tank fought Frank Martin.
But Frank Martin was shell shocked, so that don't count.
So you asked the question, but not that time. But not that time. But not.
I'm saying it doesn't count because he was shell shocked. Did he fight like himself? Did he fight how he fought in the last?
Yes, he fought like himself, but he was going up against Tank, and Tank punched on him. Now Lamont Roach did a great job. Salute to him. Let's see the fucking rematch. Let's see the rematch.
All right. Now I have a question here from Matt, and then after that, I think we may have a response of sorts here. I'm not necessarily sure, but we'll see at that. So the question to you, Matt, it says, "How do you feel?" And we just revisited this. How do you feel about Turkey teaming up with Dana White and what was it, Khan there with the WWE? And what do you think about what it'll do for the future of boxing in the United States of America?
First of all, I don't think it'll have any effect on the future of boxing in the United States. We have seen everyone come in to save boxing. Everyone's starting a new promotion. Everyone's going to do this. Everyone's going to do that. But guess what? Unless you could develop the stars of tomorrow, it ain't happening. And I'll tell you this, you can't name one person that UFC has built from the ground up, because they haven't. What UFC did was poach talent from a whole bunch of different organizations and then put them under the UFC umbrella. That's not going to work in boxing, because a lot of these guys are locked under these contracts, and a lot of these guys are happy where they're at. So unless you're going to overpay, and we know Dana White don't like to pay people, unless you're going to overpay, you're not going to get the talent. So to me, this is much ado about nothing, and it's so much ado about nothing that these people said that they're not even going to get off the ground with their first event until 2026. So come on, what are we doing?
Good luck to them. Good luck to them on that. 2026. Good luck to them on that.
And something that is not similar, but I'm just going to mention anyway. So let's say Pro Box. Pro Box is the most recent thing that came. Pro Box is not promoters. It's a event sort of thing where different promoters can place their boxers. The reason why Pro Box is successful is because they picked a separate day to where they weren't competing with everybody else. They have a certain level of niche fighter, which is some world champions, but a lot of times it's people in the contender status. And so, it's a couple things that made them very successful. Unless they gonna try to steal that sort of approach and pay people and these absorbent sort of purses and stuff. All I'm saying is Pro Box is successful for those reasons, but I'm not sure how the other people would sort of harness that and while they're paying people.
I mean, Pro Box is, like what they do over time is kind of like similar in that sense, in that, they provide an avenue for fighters to, fight in their venues there. And, they kind of like generate interest in that. With Pro Box, coming from last year, they're able to, expand from having fights exclusively there in the Plant City area to having fights in various, locations, not just around the country, but in different countries as well. So if TKO kind of like approached that in this sense, then maybe they could have something. But they're looking like no, they want to go ahead and try to get the biggest fighters, or try to make the biggest boxing matches possible when they don't necessarily have what they need in place as of yet. So you gotta slow down reference to all of that. I gotta check here to see if I have the big deal back with us or whatnot. So I was just randomly checking to see if she's back.
Hi.
I think you did go ahead and check what was going on X or
Yup,
whatnot.
I'm actually DMing Shotty right now.
Okay.
Her
So
promoter is out of New York.
So maybe we have a little bit of things going here, getting the ball rolling and whatnot.
Hey, listen. All I'm gonna say is, I want my cut.
Yo, that's gonna be a bag and a half. I
like
like
I
DM her.
said,
I'm like, I'm gonna keep it 100. I haven't followed your career, but I'm in your division, so let's fight.
all right, see, so you had back from Brunch Boxing, plant the seed, and now we got we got something going now. We're having a little bit of a branch growing out. We just got to get a couple leaves to develop here before we get a full fledged tree, and then the fight could go ahead and happen.
So you
Yo,
said let's fight, not spar, huh?
I mean, I'm in her division. Like, we can fight, we can spar, whatever the fuck.
There you go. So that's also put on wax. It don't matter if it's a spar or if it's a fight. Brooklyn Barrick is ready to go.
Yeah, real as fuck. Give me all the smoke.
Oh man! Shout out to Jim's Boxing Club here in the chat here again.
Play nice, Brooklyn as Miss. Yo, you know what? I'm dangerous.
Oh, there you go.
But are you dangerously dangerous? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned. Are you dangerously dangerous?
Yo, I'll be dangerous. I'll do whatever.
Well, there you go. So, like I said, we got this thing here, slowly developing here, where we could potentially have a matchup between Sharetta Metcalf and Brooklyn Barwick. I know that you said, hey, you got about a couple more fights here this year. So I don't know. Maybe
Yo, by the end of the year, I could be in Madison Square Garden. Who knows?
Hey, maybe in Madison Square Garden, something like that. Hey, Sharetta Metcalf, of course, will defend her title there, and still be champion. And hey, we can have.
I'll be and the new.
As my guy Jebs here said, hey, followed up says, hey, listen, Shay Metcalf is real one. Hey, she's real one. Definitely. She should have had that
My
first
key.
win over there. So
Someone
but
send her the fucking live stream link.
yeah. Yeah, he's just getting on just subscribing there. He says, careful what you wish for, Miss Brooklyn. Like, oh man, so hey. So we got something. We definitely got something, but
I wish for Fran, then I wish for this bitch. I don't know. I'll take them all.
oh man.
Hey,
I'm on
hey,
all
Hey,
smoke.
Matt,
yeah, hold on, real quick, listen, fuck what Brooklyn's talking about, real quick. So a theory just popped into my head about this whole Benavidez Bivol situation, right? You
Okay.
saw Turki Alalshikh made that tweet, oh, Bivol, don't forget who did this for you, and do the right thing. I'm not interested in this fight no more, blah, 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 blah. What if Turki Alalshikh released this because he found out they were close to a deal and he was trying to threaten or guilt Bivol out of taking the fight because it's almost done?
In reference to Benavidez fight or the third bout with
in reference to Benavidez. Who is this guy, Derek? Tell him grab a mic. Grab a mic. Stop. Listen, don't be a little bitch ass nigga. Get your bitch
man,
ass
he got the
on
phone
here
line. The
and
phone line is open. The
talk to
phone
me
line is
The
open.
phone lines are
directly.
open, y'all.
All right, get out
All
the fucking
smoke.
comment
Oh my
and
god.
get your ass. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. What are we doing here?
All
Stop being a
smoke.
bitch. Get your ass on here and make your case. And stop
All smoke.
with
Oh
your
man, hey,
with
he
your
said,
with
hey,
your with your with your bullshit race baiting. Stop with your little bullshit. I get your bitch
All
ass up
smoke.
here and make your fucking case instead of crying about racism like a little bitch.
oh man.
You guys are scaring me. You guys are scaring me.
No, come on, dog. What are we even talking about here? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
JR friend.
Yeah.
I have no idea who it
is
is.
this guy? What
I
are
have
we doing
absolutely
here?
zero clue who that is. I think
He's been on the show for a while though.
Yeah, he has been on the show for a while.
All right.
He says
Come on,
I was
man.
born without vocal cords. Of
Weirdo.
course, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the guy's a weirdo. You were also born without balls, you bitch.
Yo.
Oh man, but James says Soretta Metcalf will fight anyone. She ain't the one to play with. Just ask Coach Christine. And yes, we do know Coach Christine. Oh. All I know is this hopefully this leads to another conversation on brunch boxing on X with the Twitter Spaces with Soretta Metcalf. That's all I'm saying in reference to.
Yo, should we open a space and spam Shotty and be like, yo, I need you to debate me right now. Why do you think you'll win against me? Because I know while I win against her, I got hurt, I got stolen, I'll plow through.
Did you look at her clips in the time that you were off, or you just saying that?
No, I haven't looked at her clips, but I know that she knows a bunch of people of mine, so.
Like I said, Matt, let's go ahead and set that up there, man. But
set it up.
Jeez, we just approaching about 2 hours in here with this Boxing Source Boxing podcast on March 9th, 2025. Definitely thankful here. Of course, the big deal jumping on here after her win on March 1st over in Mexico. And of course, with our esteemed panelists here, the boxing academic, BKA. Oh my God, yo! I don't know why you came up with that nickname. Come on,
Wait,
man.
BK? I'm BK.
No. The boxing academic
Nah,
BKA.
nah, I
No,
changed it. No, I changed it. I changed it. I
okay,
changed it.
okay, go ahead. What is it? What is it?
No, I'm saying I didn't say it no more. After Matt had
Okay,
said it, it sounded
okay,
weird.
okay. So we ain't
So I
even.
scratched it. I scratched it. No, don't call me that.
Okay, so he deleted it. So it. Oh wait. So it lasted about 30 minutes. He only got
Yeah, I just needed somebody to say it, and it didn't sound right, so I stopped it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Boston academic here, back from Brunch Boston there, and of course our guest here, the big deal, Brooklyn Barwick. Once again, y'all can follow her on social media. Just look up Brooklyn Barwick, and you'll be able to
Yeah.
find her. Okay. So there's that. Big thanks for everyone that's listening live here for this edition of the Boston Source Podcast.
Except that little bitch Derek. Don't thank him.
This will be available in audio form through Spotify and whatever podcast app you use. We'll see if we can get back at it for the midweek report on Wednesday, March 12th. I'm not sure about that as I'll be on the road and I'll be getting, what is it, a little bit older there at the end of the week there. And then we'll see if I'll be on location for the Matchroom card in Orlando there. So we'll see how that goes. And when other things are developed here on the sport of boxing, be sure to just stay follow with the Boxing Source. Of course, we got the website, theboxingsource.net. We have all the social media handles here. Be sure to share the stream or share the podcast there when it's in audio form. That's all for me for this particular podcast. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.